Today is Wednesday, Parashat Shofetim. Typically in the Torah doesn't tell us a mitzvah and it doesn't give us the reason for the mitzvah. It doesn't say follow this mitzvah because this is the reason why you should follow it. But in the parasha of this week, there's an exception. The Torah tells us about the laws of the king. He shouldn't have too many horses because if he has many horses, he's going to return the people to Egypt. I guess that's where there was the big horse trading market. And therefore, in order to avoid the people from going back to Egypt, he shouldn't have many horses. And then it says, he should have many wives because they might lead his heart astray. They might lead him in the wrong direction. And that's the reason that's given explicitly in the Torah. Well, unfortunately, then the third one was he shouldn't have much silver and gold, not overdo opulence, too much silver and gold. But in the reasons given for not having many wives and not having too many horses, according to Rabbi, Shlomo HaMelech, who was the king of Israel, stumbled and failed in these commandments. He had many wives, he had many horses, and unfortunately, according to Rabbi, he stumbled and failed in those two commandments. And unfortunately, what happened in terms of the consequence of what he did. Because if a reason is given for a mitzvah, a person can always feel that that reason just does not apply to him. Sometimes you can tell a child, go to sleep early so that you'll be able to wake up in the morning. You can tell, I go to sleep late and I can still wake up early. He might oversleep. But the idea is when you give a reason, there's always a way to justify why that reason just doesn't apply to you. So the Torah, when it gives us in the king's commandments, these ideas with the reason why, even the wisest of all men, who was King Solomon, stumbled and failed in these mitzvot that had the reason explicitly stated in the Torah. So we should always realize that the Torah has divine wisdom. We may find logical reason on our own, and of course, every mitzvah has importance and a divine and deep reason behind it. But even when the reason is not given, or even if we're not able to grasp the reason for it, or even if the reason is beyond our understanding, we still observe the mitzvot, because after all the mitzvot are divine commandments, and for sure, they're only for our own good. When if the reason was given, it would be a little bit risky because people would say that reason doesn't apply to me. So that's some of the ideas connected with this portion in the parasha of this week that speaks about the king and mitzvot that apply to him. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.